name's Stephanie. Welcome to my channel. This is the first video that I'm uploading. I have wanted to do this for quite a while. I've just never really had the drive to, never really had the guts probably to start my own channel, but I'm really excited. Today I have a book haul for you of books I've acquired over the past couple of months. I was on a book buying ban, but we all know how they generally go. I have been trying to save money and read the books that I have, but these books I just couldn't pass up. They're books, either new releases or books that I've wanted to read for quite a while. The first book I have is Wayward by Emilia Hart. This book I actually just saw on the shelf when it had come out. I think I was in Kmart. I just really loved the hot pink on the cover, and I'm just kind of obsessed with hot pink at the moment, and I just thought it was a really nice cover and I couldn't stop thinking about it. And then I went back a couple of weeks later and bought it. And then I saw the US edition of this cover, and this one, I think that one is my favorite just because of all the greenery and all the pretty flowers, but I do really love this cover as well. From what I know about Wayward, it's just about three women in three different periods of time. There are themes of nature and there's witchcraft, and honestly that's all I really want to know about it. I've seen some people review this and they said that it's really good. I don't really like knowing too much about books generally when I go into them. Sometimes I have to read a lot of reviews for some books, but this book was one of the ones where I felt like I just liked the vibe from the synopsis and from what people have been saying about it, and that's enough for me to pick it up. The next book is Age of Vice by Deepti Kapoor. This book is also one that I had seen and immediately I wanted to buy it, but I said no, I needed to wait, and I did, but I just couldn't pass it up. I don't know if anyone else does this, but if they see it first released in stores, a couple months go by and then the stock dwindles. I just wanted to pick up this one before it was out of stock and I couldn't find it anywhere. From what I know about this book, it's set in New Delhi. It has themes on people born into rich families versus people born into poverty. And again, that's all I kind of really know about it. I have seen good reviews on this one. I haven't really looked too deep, to be honest, but I just really like the sound of it, so I wanted to pick it up. I don't really read a lot of books like this. I kind of feel like the themes of getting a glimpse into rich people's lives is coming back at the moment, like from season 4 of You and things like that. And there are other novels out at the moment that are along the same lines. It's just making a resurgence. So yeah, I wanted to check this one out. The next book I picked up is Romantic Comedy by Curtis Sittenfeld. This book I really hadn't heard too much about. I also just saw before it's got the Reese's book club sticker stuck, not a sticker, but you know. So it'll probably be a TV show or a movie at some point, which will be cool. From what I know about this, it's kind of taking the idea of men perceived as average dating supermodels and people looking at the couples wondering why. It's kind of a flip on that, and this woman Sally believes she's just an average woman and she gets involved with someone who's a pop idol. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. From what I gather, I think it may have kind of literary vibes, but I'm not 100% sure. I've kind of only just recently got into literary novels. It wasn't something I really had any interest in reading previously, but since I've been studying writing and editing and just books in general, just like the themes of books, all that kind of stuff, a lot of the books that are focused on in my unit are literary novels or the writing that kind of pushes to have a deeper meaning. So I'm interested to see what this brings. The next book that I recently bought is called Everything for You by Chloe Liese. This is an author I only just heard about, and their books are now being published in stores in the mass market paperbacks with all the matching series. So I thought I would pick this up because I saw it in store. I've heard a couple of people on Instagram reviewing this author and they really enjoy it. I don't really read romance that much, but when I do, I get really specific about it, like a specific trope. This one, it's about two teammates. They're on a same team. I'm pretty sure it's soccer or football, wherever you are. And it says on the front, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. So who doesn't love like the camaraderie of teams and then supposed enemies and then turns lovers. I know I do. So I'm looking forward to this one. The next one is The Witch and the Vampire by Francesca Flores. This one has actually been on my wish list for quite a while. It only just got released, so I'm really excited about it. It's about a witch and a vampire, and they're both women, and there's a romance, and that's all I know about it. That's all I want to know. On the back, I've just read, for anyone who wished Tangled had been a little more dark and a little more gay, and yeah, this has just made me even more excited about it. I seem to be collecting fantasy and paranormal books at the moment, but I haven't really been reading a lot, so I really need to get on that and start. This one will be one that I get to soon because I'm really looking forward to this one. The next book that I got was Lonely Castle in the Mirror. It's a book that I've seen around a lot. It was a book club pick for one of the book clubs I'm in, I think last year, and at the time I was just reading too many books. I was like, no, I don't have the time to add another one to my reading list, so I decided to put it off, but I would eventually read it just because I really liked the idea. From what I know about it, it's just Narnia vibes, and that's all I really need to know. It also says on the front, imagine the offspring of the wind-up bird chronicle and the virgin suicides. And I've not heard of the first one. I've heard of the second one. I've not read it, but I'm really interested. I really was drawn in by the idea of the Narnia vibes because I never read it as a kid. For me, when there's a movie of a book adaptation that I loved as a kid, and it's like a childhood beloved movie, and then you realize there's a novel, and then you read the novel as an adult, it just loses that magic of the feeling that you had when you watched the movie as a kid. I've had that experience with books previously where I've loved the movie and then I've read the books when I'm older, and it's just not the same. Like, I don't feel that same love that some people do for the novels. So maybe this will give me a nostalgia vibe for Narnia, hopefully, while still having the magic, because it is a completely different story. Since hearing about this book, I have not heard amazing reviews. There are some that were kind of average, and then there are some people that loved it. I don't know, I wasn't really dissuaded by the bad reviews. I think I just loved the concept so much that I just wanted to find out for myself if I liked it or not. I don't know when I'm going to get to this one. I just saw where I was purchasing it from, it was a little bit cheaper at the time, so I decided to snap it up because there are some books online, being in Australia, that are quite expensive to buy. So when they get cheaper, I like purchasing them then, because I don't want to later on find out that they're twice the price, but still purchase them anyway. The last book I have is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. This was a book that I had heard about only really recently, to be honest. I first heard about it when someone was unboxing a special edition where it was hardcover, and instead of the red foiling, it was the purple foiling. I heard them talk about the description and I kind of, yep, cool, that sounds good, but like, I'm not really interested, like, have fun. But this one, I don't know, I just have increasingly heard a lot of people talk about this, and it is currently the book club book of the month for one of the book clubs that I'm in. I don't know, I just suddenly got into this mood where I really wanted to read a light fantasy. From the people that have reviewed this that I've seen, they've talked about how it's quite slow in the beginning and then it doesn't really pick up until later in the book, and I'm kind of really in the mood for that. Like, just really a slow-paced fantasy, develop the characters and the world and just see where it goes. Something really slow and cozy, I guess. Maybe because it's getting colder here, even though it shouldn't be. I think I might do a reading vlog with this. That would be interesting, just because it's something that I don't usually read either. Really, all I know about it is there's this woman and she is writing the world's first encyclopedia of fairy lore, and honestly, that's all I know about it. I don't really, like I said, for pretty much all of these books, I don't like knowing too much of what the plot is, just because I feel like before I even start the book, I am subconsciously guessing about where the story's going to go and what's going to happen, what the outcome's going to be, and it's just better off for me if I just go in blind, just have like little pieces of information that'll keep me interested in reading, and that's all I need. Otherwise, often stories are just a bit too predictable, and it's weird because it's one of those things where I really want to know everything about something, so I have to stop myself from looking at in-depth reviews because they sometimes give too much away about the plot, and then I'm just constantly thinking about where the story's going to go. But yeah, so those were the books I've recently acquired. Like I said, I was on a book ban, and I was doing pretty well. I hadn't really purchased any like full price books for at least a few months. I get overwhelmed with the amount of unread books that I have, and then I just stop buying, and then I'll randomly get in this mood where I just want to buy all the books that I don't have that I'm really looking forward to, and then it results in me purchasing 7 books at once. What I need to do is stop thinking about the amount of books that I have to read and just read. I feel like I spend more time thinking about how many books I have to read and how many books I want to read rather than actually reading them. So I really need to get on that. So yeah, these are all the books. Now I have to find a place on my shelf because I don't like when they just sit here like this. I have this thing where I was obsessed buying books when I was 18, 19, when I'd just come out of high school, was in my gap year, and I'd gotten my first job and I had all this money and I was like, awesome, I'm gonna buy books. So that's what I did, and honestly, majority of the books that I have are books that I've acquired during that time period, probably like between 18 and 20, and like there's a lot of YA, and I went through a period where I was obsessed with YA, but now I'm branching out into more genres, trying to read more adult because I connect to those stories more, but I still enjoy young adult. It's more just like I can relate more to adult novels. But then now I have all these young adult novels that I haven't read. I don't have it in me to get rid of them. There are some, obviously, like I have gotten rid of because either I've read and I've not liked them, or I've just know that I'm not interested in and I'm never going to read again. But then, yeah, there are quite a few that I feel like, yes, I'm going to keep them because I am going to read them one day. And I feel like it's just a waste of money to just get rid of them. And then, oh, later down the line, if I want to buy them, I'll buy them. I would honestly rather take them around with me everywhere I go, everywhere I move, rather than get rid of them for the ease and then purchase them back because books are so expensive. But I love them anyway. And just the vibe that they offer to a space, it's just really comforting. Please let me know what book you've recently acquired just because you felt you just had to read it now. Maybe even one that you didn't read, or maybe one you're reading currently. I love seeing what other people are reading because I love getting ideas. There are so many books published in the world and it's just physically impossible to see all of them unless people are talking about them, so I would really love to know. I have a Bookstagram account if you would like to check it out. I'll put the link down below. On there I post about really just honestly pictures of books I'm looking forward to, and the occasional book review when I actually finish a book. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Bye!